Rory's dead? Wow, I didn't see that. To the Port Charles podcast. I am Eric, your host for this show. And today we're going to do kind of a combined recap of Thursday and Friday's episodes from December 15th and 16th. And the reason why I chose to wait and do this, because there just wasn't that much that happened on yesterday's show, Thursday, to really warrant coming on and doing another podcast. So I'll kind of combine these two. And right off the bat, like, I really thought there was more to this whole thing with Rory and the hook killer than what we were seeing. But yeah, Rory's dead. That's pretty unexpected. That's not how I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to end up being revealed that Rory was somehow connected to the hook killer, or maybe even the hook killer himself, but apparently not. He got. So the weird thing to me, though, was that Rory went to this apartment where the hook killer was and apparently got attacked, fired a shot, and yet somehow Dante was right outside the hallway. How did he get there so fast? Obviously they didn't go there together. So Dante just has perfect timing and just happened to be right there outside the door when this all happened. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I felt like that, I was surprised. Like I said, I didn't think that that's where they were going with that storyline. So something tells me they're not done with it. I don't think this is going to end that nice and neat that Rory shot and killed the guy. Who knows? But we'll see where it's going. But didn't really see enough of Rory to care one way or another about his character. If you did, well, then I'm sure you're sad to see the character go. He seemed like a decent guy, but yet another cop that is dead and gone. I mean, how many have the PCPD lost over the years? You would think being on the right side of the law would be more likely to keep you alive, but apparently not. So anyway, going to kind of combine things from Thursday and Friday here. One thing I want to say off the bat, I thought this was just hilarious. So starting off Thursday's episode, you see at the boxing gym Alexis punching and kicking the heavy bag while Curtis holds it. And he looks at her and he was like, "You've never done this before?" And I'm sitting there like, bro, look at the way she throws her punches and her kicks. You can tell she's never thrown a punch before. Like, to me, that was just hilarious. Like, as somebody who has trained in MMA a little bit, like, you could tell somebody who has never thrown a punch. And God bless Nancy Lee Grahn. She tried her best, I'm sure, but you can tell she's not a fighter. She has not thrown too many punches in her day. But anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. I thought it was like right at the beginning of the show too. And I'm just looking at her. I'm like, oh, her technique is not really good. And then for Curtis to say, "You've never done this before?" Like, yeah, no kidding. No kidding, she's never done this before. But anyway, that's just kind of a funny moment that, I found. So yeah, things have really taken a turn with Ava since Nicholas dropped the baby bomb on her. She is starting to look more like the Ava Jerome of old, which I'm kind of digging. I like the mob boss Ava Jerome from years ago. This kind of kinder, gentler, softer Ava, I've never really been a fan of. I've really kind of just found that aspect of her character to be quite boring, to be honest. But now that she has something to really sink her teeth into, namely Nicholas, I think this is going to get real interesting. And I'll be honest, I was really surprised that Ava dropped the dime on Nicholas to Victor, of all people. Because what a can of worms that would open. But hey, to Victor's credit, Victor might be ruthless, he might be cunning, he might be conniving, he might be a completely awful person, But he is very pragmatic. And when he heard what Ava had to say, he basically told her, look, you have a tape recorded confession of Nicholas, but after this confession was made, people saw that Esme was alive. So all people are really going to think is that Nicholas gave that confession to save you because he thought you had killed her. And he's right. And that's exactly how it would have looked when people heard it and go, well, wait a minute. He confessed to killing her, but he didn't. So, because we've seen her alive after that. So how are we going to believe that he's killed her now? That just doesn't make any sense. So, give credit where credit's due. Victor is very pragmatic. And I kind of like the character. I hope they give Victor kind of more to do. I would like to see him be the new kind of Stefan or Stavros of the Cassadine family. I was hoping that Valentine would kind of have that role, but it looks like they went in a completely different direction. So kudos to them for kind of going that way with Victor here. So yeah, it's really kind of short and sweet. There wasn't a whole lot that happened between Thursday and Friday. Rory died. I was very impressed with the girl who plays Trina. Her name slips my mind right now as I'm recording this, but she did a great job. She was very, very believable in her reaction to Rory's death. The kind of, oh my God, he told me he loved me. Now I wish I would have said it back because now I'm feeling like I do, and now it's too late and everything. And it kind of goes back to how I ended yesterday's show talking about Sonny and Liesel, how you have these moments with people, you have to take advantage of them. You know, on a regular basis, I let the people that I love and care about know that. I let my family know that I love them on a daily basis. My kids, my fiance, my family, friends, you know, I'll hit them up and just, you know, how are you doing? How are things with you? Okay, I may not come right out and say, hey, I care about you, I love you. But that's kind of my way of, you know, hey, I'm just checking in. Just wanted to see how you were doing. How's your week going? You never know when those moments are going to be gone. And kudos to this girl for hitting those emotional notes so well in these episodes. Again, I found it very believable. I found it as though a lot of times I look at things and go, is that how a person would react in real life? And I feel like she nailed that. I feel like she got that aspect. So great acting on that. Like I said, I thought the whole hook killer thing was going to go in a different direction. And maybe it still will. Who knows? Maybe this isn't the end of it. But anyway, that's it, folks. Short and sweet for 2 days. Thursday, December 15th. Friday, December 16th. Hope you all have an amazing, amazing weekend, folks. We are 1 week away from Christmas. I'm getting super excited. I'm excited to see next week's episodes. I've always been a big fan of the Christmas episodes on GH. I miss the days when Alan Quartermain was on and he would read, the Christmas story at the hospital to the kids. And so anyway, just have a great weekend. Be safe in whatever you do. Come back Monday. Check out this episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Port Charles Podcast.